All right, man, peace. So, brothers, for those of us who are blessed enough to have witnessed Tracy McGrady's ascendancy, his rise to supremacy, especially in the Eastern Conference in the early 2000s, in regards to how dominant an offensive force he was, we know that if we were to compare him in regards to one-on-one skills to any player to have ever played in the modern NBA, he could definitely hold his own. If we were to concoct a hypothetical one-on-one tournament of the top 32 greatest all-time one-on-one basketball players, Tracy McGrady would be there. That Orlando Magic Tracy McGrady, he could get buckets with anybody. So when Slam Magazine decided that they were going to hold their own hypothetical one-on-one tournament, and they were going to have Tracy McGrady of the Orlando Magic square off against Kevin Durant and release a poll to see how the viewers would decide who would win in that matchup. Those of us who saw T-Mac play, we know that he'd be a live dog in that race. So, of course, it has caused a bit of contention. There's been a lot of feedback. One of the people providing their feedback is one of Tracy McGrady's longtime frenemies, that being Mr. JR, a.k.a. Just Retarded Smith. And you'll see that oftentimes in life, we'll allow criticism from everyone except for that person that we know has it out for us in some way. And J.R. Smith and T-Mac, they have a beef with each other going back a ways, and we're going to see how Tracy McGrady responds to J.R. Smith's assertion that Tracy McGrady basically will get blown out by Kevin Durant in a one-on-one matchup. So, of course, they're going to talk about it, and I'm going to chime in.
Without further ado, our friends at Slam Magazine tweeting this week. This is just one of those internet things. Nobody, I guess they didn't think it would be a big deal. Prime T-Mac, Prime KD, game 211. Who wins?
Oh.
Tracy.
Let me say this very quickly. If a Prime T-Mac squared off against a Prime KD, game 211, it probably would depend on who got the ball first, really. That's how close the matchup would be one-on-one. If I had to lean towards someone, I would probably lean towards KD. But Tracy McGrady was also a very good defensive player.
What say you?
Well, nobody will ever know. I mean, you are talking about two guys that can score with the best of them that has ever played this game. I think the problem that...
Keep in mind, Tracy McGrady used to average 28, 29. He even had a season where he averaged over 31 points a game in an era where the NBA was scoring at its lowest in its modern history, that being the early 2000s. So if he played today, T-Mac easily could put up 35, 36 points per game, especially since he was one of the pioneers of that pull-up three-point shot. He basically played the James Harden role back in the early 2000s.
You know, lies is when the kid that plays for Cleveland tweeted out, "It's KD not even close."
That would be J.R. Smith.
The
And
kid,
just say, by the way,
who used to...
Now T-Mac said the kid that played for Cleveland. Now we know J.R. Smith is over 30 years old. So T-Mac has an issue with J.R. Smith.
used to play for Cleveland.
Assuming that he plays for Cleveland is not accurate at the moment because he does
not even close. Like, come on, now you're being disrespectful on this, right?
Yes.
You know what I mean? You're being very disrespectful. I don't know what the kid. Let me use a Florida term. I don't know what this jit's problem is.
I don't even know what that
I
means.
just taught y'all one. Okay, Florida term. But yeah, we would never know.
Look at Rachel Nichols. Rachel Nichols like, oh my goodness, two Negroes are having an issue with one another. I'm getting so horny right now.
Never know. And then the team that I played for,
The Orlando
Magic, Evan Fournier chimed in and was like, he is right though. I said, oh no, Evan, not you.
Wow.
Why?
Yeah, Evan Fournier, he's been a marginal player in the NBA thus far. He needs to just pipe down. A lot of these guys, they have to understand you're an NBA player. When you get too involved in many of these online debates, you really should stay out of it.
Break one of my records in that
Bro,
uniform and then
I'm
you
like,
can
come on,
comment.
man. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, but the fact that you think it wouldn't even be close and you chimed in on this to somebody that is the laughingstock around the NBA circles and that actually...
Well, the Orlando Magic are not really the laughingstock around the NBA thus far this year. As a matter of fact, they've been very competitive.
actually have KD win his second championship and he played for the opposing team, that's the guy that you gonna co-sign with? Evan, we paying you 80.
T-Mac said, you co-signed a guy who helped KD win his second championship, and he was on the opposing team. Talk about JR.
$80 million, bro. I bleed Magic.
Yes.
I was a Magic fan before I played.
You were growing up?
I grew up Central Florida, so I feel part of that organization. You have been there for 6 years. We pay you $80 million. Can you at least help us get back to the playoffs? I mean, no more of these 6.
T-Mac has yet to expound on who he thinks will win in a one-on-one matchup. He's spending the entire segment trying to ether Evan Fournier and J.R. Smith.
6 and 7 point games. I mean, I'm sure they have a manual around there that you can go and open it up and it'll show you how to become a professional scorer, because I got 4 years of it around there. So, you know what I'm saying? You have.
T-Mac responded to Evan Fournier, say, bro, break one of my records in that uniform, then you can comment.
You have that at the tip of your fingers. Just go and ask some of my people that's in the organization. But don't chime in on this.
Yeah, so I mean, you are the man who just the anniversary of 13 points in 33 seconds, right? So you could probably.
Yeah, that was incredible. This dude, Tracy McGrady, scored 13 points in 33 seconds against the San Antonio Spurs. I remember seeing that shit live. That was a TNT game.
Probably score 11 in a game, one-on-one game,
scoring champion.
without being disrespectful, because I've already maybe treaded on that territory with the workout question. I think I'd probably take KD because he has 3 or 4 inches on you.
What does that mean?
Because he can.
T-Mac taking it personal, boy. But it's expected. He's super competitive. Whenever you're an elite level athlete, you should take certain things personal.
He can maybe shoot over you. That fadeaway is very hard.
Have you ever-
the first step I would take?
Have you ever seen me shoot over 7-footers?
I have.
Exactly.
I have, yes.
Exactly. No, I'm not. Listen, you have your opinion about who you think will win.
The reason why they put it up there is because it's a pretty even matchup, and it would spur.
And KD is on record as stating that one of his idols growing up was T-Mac, which is expected. I mean, KD came into the NBA in 2007, so I'm sure that as a child, he spent most of his time watching T-Mac in the early 2000s, probably Kobe Bryant as well.
And all I'm saying is, I mean, wow, if you're going to put me one-on-one in that box with KD, I was pretty damn good.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I was pretty good if you're going to compare me to KD.
Yes, it's unfortunate that T-Mac had those degenerative knee issues, because he certainly would have been a 25,000, 28,000 point scorer in the NBA.
Here you were.
Who we going to put up there with Earl Smith Jr.? We're going to put like Jackie Moon or like a Eric.
Yo, he said Jackie Moon for J.R. Smith.
Eric Snow or somebody, you know what I'm saying?
This is like-
So
Eric Snow. Why you going so hard on Eric Snow? I remember Eric Snow. Oh, man. He might have been the worst shooter in NBA history. But he was perfect to play alongside of Iverson because he didn't even want to shoot. He just wanted to play defense.
So when you see the KD and T-Mac comparison, you be like, man, that's a good one. But if you put JR and if you put like Jackie Moon or you put JR or somebody like Eric Snow, you be like, that's funny.
What did Eric Snow do to deserve?
And that is a laughing stock of his career.
Man, we still like you, JR, but that side of the table I can't speak to you
T-Mac, tell us how you really feel, brother.
anymore. Up next, we're checking.
But anyway, that's basically it on that. I just thought that the conversation was very entertaining. But just to get back to the point, I could see either one of those cats winning in a one-on-one matchup. But like I stated, if they were to develop a hypothetical one-on-one tournament, say 32 players deep, of the greatest one-on-one players in the history of the NBA, T-Mac would certainly be in that number. You'd have him in there. You'd have KD, of course, Kobe, Allen Iverson, George Gervin, Michael Jordan, of course. A lot of guys that you'd have in there, but T-Mac would definitely be in there. And a matchup between himself and KD, that would be one for the ages. So peace.